Do work divided by 3 and that's your answer.
So, a cylinder, the formula for a cylinder, what was the formula for the area of the cylinder? Go to your yellow sheet.
3.14.
Well, actually, let's start out this way.
Wait.
You have a yellow sheet.
I know it.
You have, sit down. You have a yellow sheet. You have a yellow sheet.
Yay!
You two have yellow sheets.
I have a yellow sheet. It's your turn.
I got squared.
My yellow sheet.
I have a yellow sheet
You have a yellow sheet.
in my
My yellow
mouth.
sheet's over
You
there.
better not. You have a yellow
I'm
sheet.
just kidding.
You have a yellow sheet. Okay. So, we'll start that out easy.
Why does I have it
Sad.
memorized?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the volume of a cylinder? What does V equal?
H.
Make
Pi. Radius. Cubed.
No.
Height.
Big
equals-
volume of a cylinder is big BH. What does big B mean? Area of the base. In fact, we're going to do it again. We're going to write down, the first thing we're going to write up top is big B
Big B.
equals area of the base.
I said it.
And you've got to remember that over and over again. These formulas, they give you this cheat sheet, or I don't know what you want to call it, the reference sheet, and I don't know who fell in love in the state of Texas with big B. When I was going to school, they gave me the formula. The formula for the volume of a cylinder was pi r squared h. The formula for the volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. For you guys, they introduced this big B guy. So you have to look for the base. We've already talked about it. The base of a cone is, here's our cone. The base of a cone is what? It's a circle, right? The base of a cone is always the circle. The other part leads to the vertex, and that's the height. We always do our cone with the bottom being the circle, and this one's diameter, right? And then we've got height. Those are the two measurements. You'll see height and you'll see diameter or radius. Now, what do we need for ours? Well, you see up here the formula, I couldn't even get that out, is 1/3 pi r squared h. So every time we write these, and some of you should pay attention.
Pay attention.
Yeah, you're the one I need you to pay attention.
I'm paying.
Yeah, if you use pen on an assignment, you lose 10 points. If you use pen, worse yet, if you use pen and you don't write down any equations, if you don't write the formula that I ask you to, I cannot tell where you went wrong. So when you come to me and say, Mr. Wheeler, why did I get this problem wrong? And all you have is an answer, all I can say is, I don't know. Because you didn't show work. I can't tell you where you went wrong. There were a bunch of you that just yesterday, you were told write down the whole thing, right? There were a bunch of you that just wrote down answers. And amazingly, the people who wrote down the formula were generally right more often than wrong, and the people who didn't write down the formula were generally wrong more often than right. Is that funny how that works? There must be a correlation there. But that's a different class. Okay, so volume equals 1/3 pi r squared h. The 1/3 is never going to change. It's a fixed number, right? It's a constant. What's pi? 3.14. So times 3.14 times, what's the radius of this cone?
4.
Well, why do you say 4 and not 8?
4. Because it's the diameter.
If it goes all the way across, that's diameter. This is d equals. So we only need half of it. So half of 8 is 4. So 4 squared. That was the other common problem, especially when it came to word problems. The word problems, every one of the word problems involved a diameter. Almost everyone who missed the word problems was because instead of converting the diameter and dividing by 2, you guys just went diameter is radius. They are not interchangeable. A diameter is twice the radius. A radius is half a diameter. Does that make sense? So 4 squared times, what's the height? 9. So put that in a calculator and calculate it.
Can we see it?
Not yet.
No good. You can't say.
Do not steal people's thunder as they discover. Nothing worse than working on it, almost ready to hit the button, and somebody blurts the answer. It just kind of makes you want to do mean things to them. It really does. And we're trying to avoid doing mean things to people.
Yeah. You could say that.
Wesley, put the chair down. Focus. I know there's a cricket down there. He is. Okay, did you get the answer, Wesley?
Yes, sir.
Give us the answer.
452.16.
Now, your answer is almost right.
FT, what's it called? Cubed.
Cubed.
That's not what I got 150.72.
That's
Yeah.
what I got too.
Now, why did his answer come up this way?
Because he did.
He didn't multiply by 1/3.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
So it's 150.72 cubic feet.
Oh, this one's cubic.
Oh, I thought I got it wrong.
You got it right. Trust yourself. I said he almost got it right, didn't I?
Yes.
What did he leave off?
The 1/3 divided by.
A forgot to multiply it by 1/3 or divide by 3. Your choice of how you want to call it. 1 divided by 3 times, and keep going on. Does that make sense? All right. So here's what you're going to do at your tables. You're going to talk each other through. Except we'll do it opposite this time. The person on the far side who didn't usually do 1 will do 1, and we'll come the other way. The guy in the middle is still doing 2. Life's pretty golden, right? Talk each other through. Remember, explain it before you write the answer, and the other people at the table have to agree with you. Okay? So get it going.
I was like,
What?
Me first?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 1/3 point or times B.14.
Don't allow so they follow you.
1/3.
And they'll get 940.
No, follow him. Pick up your pencil.
So it would be 15 times 15 by 2, right?
7.5.
Big up, right?
Divide that by 2.
1/3
Because you got half
times.
times 7.5.
Times 2.
And then
Wait, no, you have to One-third feet cubed.
I got it.
multiply that by 2. And then the rest of the answer divided by
I already got that.
What's the formula?
15, 16.
Remember, if they're telling you how to do it and they don't tell you how to do it right, stop them and help them.
I got 942.
Oh, shoot.
What's the rate? You calculate it.
Shoot, give me your
Oh, I had it.
942.
Don't forget your unit of measurement.
B equals 1/3 pi r squared. So B equals 1/3 1/4 r
Divide by 6. Divide by 3.
squared. And then height, which is the height, 16.
Okay. Yeah, put C and Q, which is
15. So 7.5.
squared. Okay. B equals 1/3 pi.
What you got?
Squared 8.
That's already in half.
12.56.
Yeah, it's already in half.
1/3 times 3.14
Because it's not. They're trying.
Hi,
So,
Leah.
I think so. Yeah.
He's already working on number 2.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't go all the way
yeah,
across.
why are you working on 2?
He is.
I'm still working on one. I'm trying to figure out the answer.
Okay, so what's 1?
I got it.
Oh,
I
that's
got
right.
it up.
Wrong one.
I think that got me.
Yes. Wait, I know I got 12 points.
I got 410.2933333333.
Excuse me.
I do it this way. Look. This makes it easy.
Good up.
Okay. Does this? Does that? Yeah, I did. Same thing. But see, that's what I do. And it's 60%. She did too.
When I add some
More prank calls.
you can just put a line over
Did you get it down? Let's go into 2.
once we get to 3, we'll stop.
No.
Or do we keep going?
Let's go through those 3. We'll do
Someone
this.
got a
Wait, you said 10.14, right?
And then it's FT squared.
Okay, what was the answer?
If I call once and they just sit there and do nothing, I'm guessing somebody's butt dialed.
0, 1, 2, 1, 0,
Phone. Turn the phone.
Yeah, I got how many got there.
Whoa.
They melted.
Yeah, it was just stupid thing.
Mullen, is that what you got?
That's irrational.
3.
I didn't use that.
3. I got that too.
Oh, I forgot to square it.
All they're doing is write the formula right now. Write the formula every time, it'll set the formula in.
I got 4. We're gonna put that 0 there. They're 29.
Yeah, and I had the sign over it.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, the sign, yeah.
Alright, point. So it's 2 and put that into numbers. That's the formula comes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just go on further. So put a line over it. 2.
I'm already halfway gotten square.
Am I right so far? Alright, we're good.
Okay, great.
We beat them.
TA says youth basketball, but who's youth basketball? All right, so let's look at these together. Most of you are done with this. A couple of you are still working, but let's do them together. First thing is formula, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So what's the formula for the volume of a cone? Go ahead, John.
3.14. My bad. Big B over H. Or sorry, H. Right? Big B.
No.
Dang. I'm so confused now.
Go ahead, Will.
B equals 1/3 pi r squared h equals.
Okay. So we already know 1/3 doesn't change. A lot of you had problems when you went to the little fraction function, which is why I didn't show it at the beginning, because it causes problems. 1 divided by 3 is all you need, times 3.14 times, what's the radius of this?
7.5.
Why do you say 7.5 and not 15?
Because that's the diameter.
Yeah, this is the diameter, you want half. So 7.5 squared times 16. Go ahead, Ben.
We got 942 centimeters cubed.
And you even cubed the centimeters. Aren't you cool? Rockin'. All right, so let's look at number 2 here. Number 2, again, what's the formula?
B equals 1/3 pi r squared h times squared pi.
That was just a mess.
I like it if y'all do it together. So 1/3 never changes.
Times.
Pi never changes.
Times 2 squared.
What's the radius?
2.
2. 2. You didn't get tricked by that. 2 squared times the height, which is?
3.
Go ahead, Will. What'd you get?
Equals 12.52.
Feet cubed.
It's 56.
56. Okay. Okay, let's go to number 3 down here. What does volume equal for a cone?
1/3 pi r squared h.
All right, that's beautiful sounds. It's almost like music if we could do it to a tune.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Times 3.14. These never change, right? What's the radius of this cone?
7.
7 squared times what's the height?
8.
All right, Leah, what'd you get?
We got 410.293 repeating mm cubed.
Millimeters cubed. All right. Now, notice up here in the thing it said round your answers to the nearest tenth.
Yes.
Well, let's look at our answers. This is not to the nearest tenth, is it?
No.
It's to the hundredth. Now, rounding is one of those things that has been a little more of a challenge for y'all. So look down here. I'm rounding to the tenth. The 5 is the tenths place, right?
Yes.
So is the 6 5 or greater?
Yes.
If it is, it'll cause this. We can drop it off. It'll cause this one to enlarge to 6.
Yay.
Do the same thing down here. We on the tenths. We've isolated. Is the 9 5 or greater?
Yes.
It'll cause the one before it to get bigger, and you can drop it off. So that's rounding. I didn't, on yesterday's homework, I didn't hold it against you if you didn't do that. But almost nobody did. It was right in the instructions. Read the instructions. Wait till someday I put the instruction, just put your name on the homework and turn it in. It's funny. Alright, so let's look at this volcano down here. So we got a volcano named Paracutan in Mexico. Had a height of 410 meters and a diameter of 424 meters. Approximate the volume of the cone. Well, first thing, I'm going to draw myself a volcano. A volcano is just a cone upside down. We hope it's upside down. If it's the other way around, things have gone bad. Okay, so how high is it?
410.
410 meters.
Big volcano.
Nah, it's pretty small actually.
I don't know.
What's the radius? Now it says diameter. We don't want diameter, we want radius, right?
Yes.
So 212 meters. I told you yesterday that was the biggest problem people had, is it said diameter and you went with it as the number you wanted it to be. And it got you in trouble. So it says approximate the volume of the cone, use 3.14 for pi. So what's the formula for the volume of a cone?
V equals 1/3 pi r squared h.
All right.
Okay, well let's fill in the parts we know. 1/3 never changes. Pi never changes. We love pi. What's r here?
212 squared.
212 squared times height, which is 410. All right, so figure out. Tell me about this volcano. It's big. It's got a lot of mass. If it blows up, how much dirt will it spew out everywhere?
A lot.
That's not a good answer.
Is that really
Be one of those scary scientists who spews out numbers in the public, just causes their eyes to roll back.
3.1415926.
No. No, you have to give me the volume of the
That's when you
volcano.
know they're lying.
I already got it.
Ellen, you got the volume of that volcano?
Yeah.
How big is it?
1928696.5.
Okay, try again. 1928
6968.
point,
5 and then 3 repeating.
But we're right.
and that is meters cubed, right?
Yes.
That's a lot of stuff to spew out.
A whole lot of dirt.
19.2 million cubic meters. So when it blows up, that's a lot of dirt spreading everywhere. That's a lot of new farms.
It's a lot of damage.
Whoa.
Whoa. All right. So cones, really the same thing as cylinders, although ice cream cones are tasty. Ice cream pints are tastier.
Ice cream pints.
What?
Well, they come in a cylinder.
No, eat it with the waffle cone.
Again, less volume of ice cream. I'm into ice cream. 1/3 the volume of a cylinder is the volume of a cone. It's the same height. Any questions?
Question.